Need a new mechanic? Well, here are some questions to ask so you don't get ripped off, because car repairs can be very costly, and if not done correctly, you can end up with a vehicle that isn't safe to drive, and that bill will end up on you if you don't go through all these tips. And that's why it's so important to have a mechanic you can trust. After you've done an initial search on Yelp, asked friends, people you work with, family members for recommendation, there are a few important questions you should ask any potential mechanic before you trust them with your vehicle. There's so much more to this, but first I want to remind you to subscribe and click that little bell for notifications so you don't miss anything. We give you more than car reviews and first looks of new vehicles. We give you car smarts, because knowledge is power. Here are some of the important questions you should ask any mechanic. Are you an ASE Certified technician? Always seek out an Automotive Service Excellence or ASE Certified technician. ASE's purpose is to protect vehicle owners and provide the peace of mind that you expect when you take your vehicle to a mechanic. The ASE certifies individuals who have completed an automotive repair training program and tests to ensure they know how to work on your vehicle. Seeking out a master tech is always your best option. A master technician is a service professional who has earned all 8 certifications through ASE. The areas of certification include electrical, engine performance, heating, air conditioning, engine repair, and much more, including electric vehicles. You might consider seeking out a mechanic who not only specializes in your make of your vehicle, but also in the model, so that you know that you're getting someone who is fully knowledgeable about your vehicle and how it operates. Make sure to ask, what are your standard service rates? Especially when it's routine maintenance, like getting your annual inspection. The mechanic ought to be able to provide you with rate information so that you have a basis for comparison in case you prefer to shop around. Ask, what does the manufacturer recommend? If you take a car to a mechanic for routine maintenance, ensure that their suggestions are in line with your car manufacturer's recommendations, which are in your owner's manual. And make sure the mechanic understands and compiles all the routine information and writes it in that book, because it'll help for resale value. Ask, will you charge me for a diagnostic exam? If you're having an issue with your vehicle and you need work that goes beyond the standard maintenance, find out if the mechanic charges to perform basic diagnostic exams to determine whether your vehicle has something wrong with it or it's just something that's pretty simple to fix. And some mechanics will do this for free. While it might cost you in other places, if they do charge, find out if that is a flat fee or an hourly rate, and will they deduct it off the work if they perform the repair. Before visiting a mechanic in person, you could call them and ask what they think the issue could be. It might be something you can fix easily yourself, which will save you money and a trip to the shop altogether, because they're busy as well. Before shelling out tons of cash for a repair, ask the mechanic, what would they do if they were in your shoes? If you have an old car, it might not even be worth repairing that. And an honest mechanic will let you know that. Mechanics should offer you a cost estimate of your repair before they begin the work on your vehicle. Always make sure to get a quote in writing before you agree to do the work. The quote should include what repairs are needed, what parts they will need, and what the labor costs will be, and that should all be listed separately. Make sure the quote they give you includes any extra fees the mechanic might charge. This could include miscellaneous fees, disposal fees for tires or liquids such as oil, and ask for the estimate first, then ask about any hidden fees on top of that. And if the shop hasn't disclosed all the details in the initial quotation, that may be a cause for concern, and you might want to look for a different repair shop. Ask them, will you alert me before making any unexpected repairs? This is important because sometimes in the process of a car repair, the mechanic will find additional issues that weren't covered on the original estimate. And in some states, it's legally required for the shop to let you know about additional repairs and parts that exceed a certain cost. But even if you don't, a good mechanic will agree to give you a heads up about any unanticipated expenses before moving forward with your work. A good mechanic should have no problem with you getting a second opinion. If you don't agree with the service repairs and you don't initiate the work, get a second quote. And while it's important to get a second opinion, make sure your car is safe enough to bring it to another shop to get the option of the second opinion. The critical question to ask when surprised with additional repair suggestions is it safe to drive my car without these repairs, and for how long? The idea is to get the repair done and not take the risk. You can always ask, can you talk me through the repairs that are needed so that I understand? Make sure you understand exactly what needs to be repaired, why it needs to be repaired, before agreeing to pay for any services. Having your mechanic talk you through the process, showing you the pieces and the parts, can help you understand exactly what's being charged, and it enables you to ask follow-up questions so you really understand what you're paying for. If a lot of repairs are needed, make sure to ask about prioritization. Which ones should be done, which ones can wait, and which ones aren't really that important. So when you bring your car into the shop, you might find out that there's a whole bunch of work. Just make sure to get a laundry list of those repairs, get costs for those each repairs. Before you agree to any single charge, ask the mechanic which ones need to be done and which ones you can put off to a later date. Ask if you can choose the parts to use for the repair. Sometimes there is a good, better, best option, and depending on the type of repair needed, you might have that option, especially if it's a used part, a rebuilt part, or a new part, which could be cheaper than a new part, but keep in mind there should be a warranty. And an original part is also known as an OEM part, is always going to be your best choice, but rebuilds are equally as good in many cases as long as there's a warranty. If you do opt for a used part, maybe something out of a salvage yard, make sure that it's in excellent working condition. Ask the mechanic to see, can I see these old parts? You're not going to take them with you in most cases, but it's good to see what they are, did they come off your car, and ask a lot of questions because knowledge is power, like I always say, and having that education will help you if there's a problem in the future. You'll know what was done and what you're paying for. We know that putting off minor repairs certainly can lead to costly major repairs down the road, which is why a good mechanic will back up their work and their team's work. Don't settle for less. And if the mechanic does offer a warranty, make sure you know exactly what is covered and for how long. For reference, if you are a AAA member and you bring your vehicle to AAA approved repair facility, all work for the vehicle is guaranteed for 24 months or 24,000 miles, whichever occurs first. And other chain shops also do something similar, but you have to ask. It's important to ask, when will the repairs be done? Now this may seem obvious, but you should ask for the time frame for repairs so you know how long you can expect to be without your vehicle and make other transportation arrangements. We have seen times where mechanics won't get to it and it could be weeks down the road. Now obviously things do come up, but this should give you a general date to hold them to in case they take longer than expected. Don't drive away from the repair shop without a detailed invoice breaking down exactly what was repaired, which parts were replaced, and this will serve as your record in case something stops working down the road, or if you trade the vehicle in, you'll have documentation for the next owner. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more videos like this one. If you have any questions or comments, I'll be more than happy to answer them. You can support me by buying me a cup of coffee. The link for that is in the description, plus all the links for our website, social media, my book, and the podcast. I'm Lauren Fix. Thank you so much for watching.